Hey, welcome back everyone. Thank you so much for all the feedback you gave me in the last video. It was definitely very encouraging with all the messages and the stories that I got. Definitely teared up here and there a little bit. So there were a lot of questions that you had for me about depersonalization and if I still deal with it today. And then there was also a couple of other things too that I wanted to mention that I forgot to talk about in the last video. So do I still deal with this? Yes, I still do. I wouldn't say that I'm completely cured of all of it. I would just say that I manage it. That's the only difference. A lot of the questions I was getting about depersonalization were very specific, and to answer all of them, yes, I've probably experienced most of those symptoms. I've experienced them at some point, or either I still deal with it every once in a while, or maybe something not at all. I don't know. I'm still in this journey with all of it. I just figured out a way to manage it with what I mentioned in the last video. I'm not completely cured of all of it, although I wish I was. But you know what? This is what I was dealt with, and this is kind of what I have to deal with, and I won't let it take away my life. And also just want to mention with the last video too, those 5 steps, I wouldn't say that they are the proven steps with getting rid of depersonalization. Those are just kind of what worked for me, and I hope they work for you. If you have certain methods that have worked for you, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. But you know, quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or a psychiatrist. I just have a horrible anxiety disorder that I figured out a way to manage it, and I also have a degree, well actually I have a minor in psychology, so I guess I'm kind of qualified to talk about this, right? And before I go into this video, I just want to mention a couple of things. If you feel like that you are going to inflict any type of self-harm onto yourself, or if you feel like that you were suicidal from all of this, definitely go seek out professional help instead of looking up videos on YouTube about this. This is going to be a little bit more of going on to the next step with depersonalization and giving a sense of control before you go into anything else with all of it. So please seek help. I beg you. Your life is worth it, you are worth it, and you're gonna keep on going, and I believe in you. You got this. And that's why I'm here today, just to talk about just 3 quick things that I feel like that prevent you from getting better from depersonalization. So the first one I want to talk about real quick is your attitude and your mentality towards depersonalization. Depersonalization makes you feel like a victim really fast, and it's really easy to fall into that pit of despair.
Where am I?
The pit of despair. Don't even think.
Don't even think about trying to escape.
That first month I was dealing with all of it, I felt like my life was completely over and it had no meaning, and that I felt like that I couldn't go on with my life at all. Everything was just over. The dream was over and I couldn't do anything at all. Like I said, I became very agoraphobic. I didn't go outside very often, and I felt like that things were just never going to be the same. And the number one question when it comes to depersonalization is this: is this forever? Am I going to be like this forever? Well, the answer to all that is you let it happen forever. You let it take control. You let it continue practically. Stuff like this makes you just want to run outdoors and just scream, why? Why me? Why did I do this to myself? How could this be? You know, why am I a victim to this? I'm the victim, but I should feel sorry for myself constantly. And it's horrible. And it's totally okay to have that mindset for a little bit where you are the victim, where you want to sit down and just, you know, think about everything that you did wrong in your life to lead you up to this point. I was there for a while too, but it got old for me, and I said no more. I'm not afraid anymore.
I'm not afraid anymore.
I just didn't want this to take away my happiness, take away my joy. I want to keep on going, you know? I'm 30 years old, I'm still young, I still have a life to live. So your life is still worth living, no matter what age you are at. But yes, the effects of depersonalization make it really easy to fall into that type of victimhood mentality and attitude. Sit with that feeling for a little bit, but don't let it last forever. But once you get to that point where you feel like you have a sense of control, start making moves. Just start small, and eventually you'll start going big. You are still the same person as you were before. It's just that your mind is tricking you that you are not enough anymore, or that you're a victim to all of this, or that, you know, life's not worth going on. It's just your frontal cortex is the one that's telling you that, oh, I can't do this anymore. This is the anxiety that I'm building up. So you really just have to trick your mind into it, keep on going, ignore all of it, and just not become the victim. So number 2, the amount of forums that I see on the internet, the Facebook groups that I see with depersonalization, There are all negative spaces to be in. I go into these Facebook groups and I just constantly see all the negativity that is just, perpetuated, and all of the self-loathing that is just, constantly just dragging everyone down. Does anyone feel this way? Does anyone feel that way? Why am I like this? Your brain is going to be addicted to all that negativity. You're going to want to keep on going back just to confirm all the things that you're feeling, which is fine, but I understand that you feel like that you're alone in all of this. You're not alone. There's probably millions of people that are dealing with this at some point in their lives. The thing with depersonalization is that it makes you feel like that everything that you're feeling is very significant. Well, I got news for you. Everyone else is feeling this too as well that are dealing with DP. So the people that I see on these forums, I never see any type of solution. I never see any type of hope. I never see any type of just, positivity. It's just constant negativity. And I feel like that a lot of these people in these groups are addicted to that negativity just to keep on feeding them and justify all the feelings that they're feeling. So eventually all those things just get perpetuated more and more, and you become part of that. And you continue just to go down further and further into this rabbit hole of despair, and you're not going to get any better by just reading more into these stories or reading more into these people's comments about, about all the issues that they've had with all of it. And it's not that these people are wrong for what they're feeling. I'm not trying to act like I'm above all of this. It's just sometimes I feel like that this is not a good coping mechanism for everyone to constantly, have these depersonalization Olympics of, who's got it worse, who's got it bad. It doesn't necessarily help all the time. So I strongly recommend just avoiding all of the forums, all the groups on the internet. I was definitely there for a while, for a couple of months dealing with it. I had to stop myself. I had to get rid of it because it was just not making anything any better for myself at all. But yes, I'm going to be a little more tough on your ass about this because finding solutions are much more worth it than constantly complaining. So please, I beg you, stop joining all these forums and discussing all of it because it's not going to do you any better. I see you. I know what you're doing. You better stop. Please stop! And the third thing and last thing I want to talk about real quick that is stopping you from getting better is the amount of negative self-talk that you give yourself, the lack of self-care, the lack of self-love. As cheesy as it sounds, it's actually very, very important to love yourself during these times. Depersonalization makes you a very selfish person in the first place, so you're off to a good track. Take all that negative selfishness that you have about yourself and turn it into a positive by loving yourself more. A lot of people want to find a fast cure, they want to, get better instantly. You have to take all your time with all of it, and you have to be kind to yourself during all of it too. No one's rushing you but yourself. If you have family, if you have friends that you can talk to with all this, please reach out to them. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's the number one thing that I learned through all this was it's best to ask for help, and it's always worth it. Those people that you could always talk to, always depend on, reach out to them. Don't be afraid to do so. I'm sure they'll understand. And if you actually ask them, hey, can you research, depersonalization for me and have them come back to you to talk about it? Because it kind of gives you a sense of confidence that you'll go into that conversation of help, that they'll understand it too without you having to constantly explain, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. So tell them to do their research before they talk to you, and you'll have a little bit of some peace of mind with all of it. Make sure to give yourself credit and treat yourself right, acknowledging the milestones you've made with depersonalization. You've probably come a long way so far, I imagine. And I'm going to say it one more time. Your personality, your ambition, your motivation, the person that you knew before all this, it's still there. You're just hurting. Yes, be kind to yourself, love yourself, take it slow, and be easy. It's okay. No one's judging you but yourself. You did nothing wrong. Don't live in remorse. Don't live in regret. I did it for the longest time about me smoking weed. I was like, I shouldn't have done that. I would play the whole scenario over and over again in my head. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. It's over. It happened. It's done. These are the cards that I was given, and this is what I have to deal with. I'm going to make the best of it. So yeah, that wraps up today's video. Just wanted to dip in real quick and just mention a couple of things that I feel like that keep people from getting better with depersonalization. It's definitely your attitude and mentality, the amount of forums and groups on Facebook that keeps on regurgitating negative information, and the last thing is the lack of self-love and self-care in your life because you feel like that you're not worth it anymore with all of this. This will probably be my second to last video about depersonalization. I might keep on going, but I didn't want to dedicate this whole entire channel about mental health or depersonalization I just want to start off with a topic that I feel very strong about. But if I feel like that there's a need to, then I will definitely do so in the future. I just want to help out as much as I can, but at the same time, I want to focus too on my own ambitions and goals. But I have plenty more to talk about instead of just mental health. I will see y'all very, very soon. Goodbye.